Well, hello and welcome to Perfectly Twisted with
Hey, how you
Nicole
doing?
and Dave. Hi, how are you?
Doing good. Your mic sounds really good today. I never thought it didn't sound good, but right now your mic sounds great. Like you sound like you're ready to do voiceovers. You sound
Oh,
really good.
do I
Yeah,
have my radio voice on?
I think you do. I think you need to do like the requests they used to do when I was lived in LA when it was Coast 1035 and people would call in and then they
Yeah, and
dedicate
dedicate
songs.
love songs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And as always, I remember listening to that every night in high school to fall asleep. That's out on my radio.
Uh-huh.
And then there's always some guys like you always call in, wanted to dedicate Lady in Red. And I was like, I hate that fucking song. And then
Not this one again.
yeah, yeah. God, Lady in Red. Okay. There we go.
That's pretty funny. Okay, so I have a little product alert. We had our
Yeah.
guest on last week, Melanie DeSalvo, who has New Titty, the bras for women who
You
have
gotta
mastectomies.
yeah,
So I got, huh?
if you missed the show, just real quick, if you missed the show, that's the name of the company.
New Titty.
That's the name of the
Yeah.
company. Yeah.
And
It just made
you.
it sound like you just threw it, flip it right out there. The new titty.
Okay, sorry. Let me be
Okay.
more clear. This is the company, New Titty,
Perfect.
Nutitty. You can also pronounce it nudity. So I
Yeah.
think it's a cute, very cute play on words. Well, she sent me product, and I'll tell you what, you would think it's not that hard with all the manufacturing that goes on in this entire world and that's available to find comfortable bras, but it's been a struggle. I mean, I have boxes ready to go back to Amazon that I can't even carry. I have to wait till Keegan's home so we can take them. um, but okay, so here is her lace one.
Okay.
Okay, razorback ladies comes out in the front. Very cute. Makes you feel like you are a little dressier. It's a little fancier. It's because these bras can be very basic and which is fine in t-shirt wear. But sometimes you wanna feel a little prettier and you want it to look a little better and maybe go with a dress or a cute top. So I found that to be fantastic for that. And then her more daily wear one um is perfect. It's perfect. It closes in the front. I don't think you have to have a mastectomy to wear these. These are really just comfortable daily bras. And, I think more and more women these days are trying to avoid the underwire. Um, and, you know, yes, relieve the titties, relieve them from the underwire. They are horrible. They hurt so bad. There's occasions you need them, but on our daily wear, we don't have to wear them anymore. And these bras were absolutely perfect. They're very true to size. Um, and they go small, medium, large, which makes things easier. And because sizing is also so weird these days, everybody has their own version of what's small, medium, and large. So I felt like these ones were very true to size, which is very helpful. So shout out to Melanie and New Titty. They truly are comfortable, good support, look good under the clothes. Super happy.
It's interesting how, life changes. I mean, maybe I'm just in this stage of my life, I guess I am, where, you and a bunch of my friends' wives are going through either breast cancer or breast cancer recovery. And, when we did the show last week, the group of guys that I, see on a regular basis were all asking me, how did it go? They were all curious about that interview and they wanted to know, hey, tell me about the product. And I go, you got to watch the show. When the show comes out, you're going to hear everything. But again, it's a fantastic line. It's a line in need, and I think it is, a time of our age. And if you aren't our age yet, then it's coming. I mean, this is what your friends and family are going to worry about. Obviously, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but I have another buddy of mine who is suffering from another cancer right now, and he's lost all his hair, and he was kind of embarrassed to take his hat off and show me. And I said, man, I have seen so many people this year that have lost their hair. Like it doesn't phase me at all to see someone with no hair anymore. This
Mhm.
is a big time battle. The hair is the least of it. And so products like this to make people feel better about themselves, whatever it is, fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. Yeah, I never had a problem with my bald head, so I never covered it or never did anything. But it would be interesting to see if there's like hats that are made, for men,
Yeah.
especially because I feel like men have a big problem with being bald too, which you wouldn't think, but they do. So I wonder if there's a good like baseball hat line out there that is comfortable. We should look into that. But yeah, bras, for women, this is like, and especially once I even started way before my mastectomy, when I knew I had to
Yeah.
go do chemo, you're laying around all the time. And when you have size D boobs like mine, you can't just let them,
Yeah.
let them out there. You've got to put something on, save the public. So, that's when I moved from, to really comfortable bras, and it's been a struggle, not gonna lie. So, um, yeah, it was really funny after, I don't know if I told the story or not, but when I went for my checkup with my plastic surgeon, when he put the expander in and he wanted to check on things. And I asked him, like, what should I be wearing compression? What should I be doing? And he's like, you don't have to do anything. And I was like, I don't have to do anything. I'm flat. And then I have a size D. And he was like, oh, if you want to protect that one. I was like, I'm not trying to protect it. I'm trying to protect the people, you know, like, it's yeah, yes, I have to wear something, sir. I do. I'm not going to my kid's school like,
Yeah.
swinging. I mean, it's so bizarre. You don't have to wear anything. Yes, you do. Yes, thank you. So yeah, bras have been really important. And might I say, do you see my shirt?
I did. I could see the top of it. Hey, look at that. You got the mug and you got the shirt.
Okay, so
Yeah.
those of you who are not watching, I have a vintage inspired, perfectly twisted T-shirt on. It has the logo, and shout out to John West who created and made it. And it is for sale, $40. Proceeds this
Nice.
month will go to charity. So if you are interested and would like to support, just go ahead and hit that message button where you would send the mailbag. You can put your
Perfect.
request in there, and we can get that to you. And we really, really appreciate it. It's cute,
That's
right?
awesome. It is.
I didn't want it to be like boring and plain white or black or whatever. So
Yeah.
it's kind of a it's like off white. It's vintage,
Yeah.
like tea stained kind of color.
Yeah.
But it's great quality and it's not vintage feel. It's like, it's brand new. It has a lot of wear in it. So
I
um
love it. And,
yeah.
and actually I want to let people know you picked this logo. This was your logo. This wasn't it wasn't like Nicole, this is your logo and too bad. We went through a process of this and
I know.
this is yours. This is what you wanted.
Yeah, I know. I spent a lot of time on it. It's not, yeah, it was not a cookie cutter punch in
No,
AI and get a logo. No, we created it and it took some time and I love it very much.
that's
So
awesome.
yes, it's dear to me.
I wanted to ask you a question. I meant to ask you last week when we did the show. You took a picture you posted it on Instagram, and it was before you went in for your surgery, and you said last picture with the girls.
Yeah.
And when you took that picture, was after you took the picture, I should say, what was your feeling? Was there a sadness? Was it a relief, like I'm getting better? What was going through your mind?
Not that much. I wish I had something deep and moving to tell you, but I really had come to terms with it and kind of just not thinking about it. I think the more I was thinking about it, the more wound up I was getting about it. It's something
Yeah,
I had to do. And if you think about it and you watch the videos and all this, you can really like get just freaked out. So for me, I just was like, listen, it's out of my control. This is something that I have to do. This is something I'm doing for my kids, for my survival. I will go in, the doctors will do what they do, and I will wake up with what I have. And
yeah,
there was no choice, there was no options. So I just really tried to just think about, we'll just deal with it when we wake up and see what we got, what
yeah,
we're working with. And and I had to have faith in how far we've come, as far as reconstruction and the surgeries and the scars. And I was able to I already had a scar because I had had a breast lift, a breast reduction, should I say?
uh-huh.
So I had a scar, so they followed the same scar. So I knew I
Oh,
wasn't
good.
going to wake up with any new scars And I'm accustomed to implants, which a lot of women are not. So to wake up with an expander was more comical to me than horrifying, because my daughter was like, "What does it look like?" And I said, "It looks like one of those ball pit balls, those toys, those plastic
Oh yeah.
balls, and then you stepped on it and you deflated it and it's all like crunched up." That's what it looked like. Implanted in my chest. So it was kind of funny. I was like, look at that. What a weird thing. So I took pictures. I've been taking pictures of it. And then now it's been filled now. So now it looks like a boob, but I just still have stitches in the scar. So that was quick. I didn't even have to deal with it for that long.
Good.
The recovery, the hard part of the recovery is the lymph node removal.
Yeah.
That is a different story, my friends. That, oh my good God. And nobody like told me what to do. So, I had to figure out on my own how to relieve some of the swelling. It's still swollen. And when they say an 8-week recovery, they're not kidding. It is. That's the hard part, is the lymph node
Yeah.
removal. And then I got my pathology reports back. And the not so good news is they did find more cancer in the lymphatic system. So here's where I stand. Here's what we know is that 2 of the 6 that they removed were positive for cancer, but they're out. Those are
Okay.
out. There was a little bit of cancer still in the breast. It's out. They took it out. What I don't know is, did it travel to other lymph nodes? Is it in other places? I don't know. We don't know. And only time will tell. So, over these next few months of me recovering from the surgery, I will be meeting with specialists to find out what and getting second opinions. I'm going to meet with all different kinds of people, get second opinions on everything, and see what my next step of treatment is, because I think this is pretty crucial. And I am going to not talk about it so much and not think about it, except for the breast cancer awareness and bringing awareness and,
Yeah.
trying to raise funds to find a cure. I don't really want to talk about it. I'm going to live my life right now feeling great because I have nothing in my body. I have no treatment going on. So this time period I have right now, which I usually call the gray zone, I'm going to turn that around and I'm just going to enjoy that I'm alive. I'm going to enjoy and celebrate that they got that cancer that they had found out of my body. And I'm just going to really enjoy healing and not adding more, to, the pain, because I have a lot of joint pain, feet, hands, a lot of pain. So I'm just really going to enjoy healing from that and trying to just enjoy not having any of that shit in my system through the
Yeah.
holidays. I'm sure it'll be through the holidays. So that's where I'm at on that. I'm just going to celebrate
Good.
and put it down the road, you
Yeah.
know.
So I'm gonna ask a question for a friend of mine who I know would never. He's not that person to write in, and he's not going to sit there and he's kind of he's a support person for his wife. But his question is, because we've talked about it, why did you decide when you had your reconstructive, or you're going through the process where you're going through right now, why one side, not both sides?
Well, that was not up to me at the end of the day. Well, it was up to me at the end. Okay, I wanted to do both. I believe, do both. I'm going to take this day by day. We're talking about that right now. I laid down on that hospital surgical table to do both. Now, my oncology surgeon, which I had a conversation with my oncologist yesterday, and he said, he's not an oncologist. He was really erring way on the side of caution, and I don't think he needed to do that.
Yeah.
So there was a bit of a miscommunication, but this is what he said to me right before I went under. And my friend who was with me, John, said, "Well, wow, he doesn't have very good bedside manner." And after it was all over, I said, "You're telling me." So he said to me, "Nicole, I only want you to do the one. Let's do the one. This way your immune system won't be as low. Because if we do both, it's going to really lower your immune system. This is split the difference of lowering your immune system. And we all know you need an immune system to fight the cancer. And less recovery time, half the recovery time because it's half the surgery. 50% less chance of any kind of infection because it's only one side, and you can get back into treatment sooner. Get back into treatment, be on treatment, get some imaging done, make sure it hasn't spread, and then go back and do the other breast. So, this is because mine is in my lymphatic system. This is because
Yeah.
we don't know where it has gone. If it hadn't traveled, here's your option. You take one that's infected, or you take them both. Now, it does not better your survival chances. This is what they're finding. You have more chances of it coming back in a different organ after doing chemotherapy
Really?
than you do have it coming back in the other breast. You have about a 20% chance of it coming back in the other breast.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Now, one thing I am happy about by taking one, and you immediately you're like, take them both, but you don't know what it feels like to have them gone. The numbness, all of this, no nipple, all of that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. So now I have the option of weighing out, do I want one natural breast? And they'll make them match. Do I want one natural breast and that 20% chance, but I'm going to be being tested every 3 months
Yeah.
for years to come? Or do I get rid of it also because the side that I took doesn't feel so bad and I'm okay with it and I want both sides to feel like that, and I lower it by 20%? It's a very personal decision.
Yeah.
It just is. But I kind of am I wanted both, just do both, done, one and done, and let them be gone. But now I'm seeing the silver lining of doing the one, because now I can choose. Do I want them both to feel like this, or do I want,
Yeah.
I get to choose now. And yes, it's another surgery, but I have to go back under to get the implant put in this one anyways, or the flap, whichever I decide upon. So this is all very personal and kind of
Yeah,
going
of
with your
course.
gut and what you think. And, you got to talk to people who have been through it. And yeah, it's personal.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Okay. I appreciate you answering the question. Um, all right, let's get into some brighter news here. All right. I have a
Yeah.
question for you because I walked into the house the other day and my wife was watching a show that's very popular on Netflix right now. Okay. And I believe it's called Nobody Wants This. All
Yeah.
right. And it's the one with Kristen Bell, and she's not Jewish, and she's dating a rabbi.
Adam
Okay.
Brody. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. It's very funny to watch because he's a San Diego guy, not far from where I am. To see that he, made it. So it's like, I know San Diego's not a small town, but I'm always like when people that, in your neighborhood, because when I lived in LA, Nicole, there were people all over the place that were actors. And I'm know in your circle, since you were a little kid, people were actors. You knew a ton of actors. And so for us, in my neighborhood growing up, believe it or not, David Schwimmer was in my neighborhood. And then he made it
Oh,
on Friends, and you're like, that's the kid from like 2 blocks over, and
yeah.
then it was always kind of cool in LA. There were always somebody. I mean, I always joke around with my friend, went to school with Leonardo DiCaprio when he was, young. And I remember him telling Leonardo he's never going to make it. Now he's like the most famous actor in the world. So it always make me laugh when it works out like that. Anyway, so I'm watching this show, and it's did nothing against the show. The show's fine. But what I found interesting was, and this is the acting thing that all my friends are talking about this week, is you find out that Adam Brody and Dak Shepard and Kristen Bell, and they're all friends. Adam Brody's wife is friends with Kristen Bell, and there it's like two couples that would go out to dinner on a regular basis, kind of a deal. And all of a sudden, you have one of the people who is making out with, the other person's wife. And it was one of those moments when we realized what was happening, where we're like, we paused the show and we got to start talking, you know, like how much money, like what would it be? And it was like, I don't care if it's $50 million. There's no way. And it was kind of crazy. And we start going through all her friends and all my friends, and this is the conversation. Well, later on, I start talking to other friends who are couples are watching the show, and they had the same conversation too, going, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! Wait a second, what?" And then he was on Adam Brody was on Jimmy Kimmel. He spoke about it a little bit, but what I found interesting, and this is the acting part that I know you're going to bring to a close on what I'm saying. Dak Shepard says, I'm watching this show, and I'm like, just kiss already. Like he's yelling at the TV, like, I just want to see them kiss. Just kiss already. Like he fell into the show. It's a great show. And he goes, the chemistry's there, make out. And I can't ever imagine my mind going that way with another couple that I'm friends with. And that blew me away. But so you got to help me out on the turn it on, turn it off deal. And I understand there are 20, 30 people there watching. It's not like two people, what you see walking down the sidewalk, all of a sudden make out.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I guess because then you have to see them together in a social setting. Um, it's sort of like your love for the art of, storytelling. So I don't know, maybe put it in sports terms. Like you've got, like, how do you think that Kelsey's mom feels when she's got one son on one team and another son on the other team, and then they play each other, right? And
Yes.
it's like, who do you root for? And like, how do you console that? It's sort of the thing is like you're just in it for the love of the sport or the storytelling, and you want it to be a good project. You want it to for the actors to sell it, and that's what you are as actors. And I don't think it's something that I think it's something that just comes naturally to them because it's they I don't know. And you mean I sort of feel like I might feel more comfortable with my partner being with a close friend because maybe you trust them more because there's
Yeah.
nothing going on between them. If it's a total stranger and somebody new, there might be this element of like, oh God, this new person, what if they like come in and sweep her off her feet or him off his feet,
Yeah.
like a Brad and Angelina situation.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know. I've never been in that situation or that position, so I don't know. But
You've never had to have like an on-screen romance where with someone that you were friends with their girlfriend?
I mean David Charvet on Baywatch. Um, Let me think. Not really. I don't think so. No.
No.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
But it's such a good show. I mean, I love the show. It was created by David Foster's daughter. Um, and it's so cute. I don't know. It's so modern. It's so cute. It's so everything. I love Adam Brody. Um, he was from the OC for anybody who doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I just love it. I think that they want their show to be successful. They want it. They want all the good stuff. This is what we're in it for. So, they're just cheering for a good project, I think.
It's funny. It is one of those kisses that people keep talking about, which is funny. Even, now I remember as when I was younger and, they used to give an MTV award out for best, on-screen kiss,
Uh-huh.
and then it's one of these kisses people are talking about. Like they're passionately, in there. What made me laugh was one thing about me is I'm kind of a germ freak. Like I wash my hands a lot. Like if I pump gas at the gas station, I will wash my hands as soon as I
Well,
get a chance.
yeah.
Or oh, you do the
Yes.
same thing. Okay.
I
If I
hope
walk,
everybody does.
I don't think so. I don't
Oh,
think so.
gross. Oh God.
And
Okay.
so that's
Gross.
always my thing as far as washing hands and being clean. If you notice in the kiss, he grabbed her face. Do you remember that? He
Yeah.
touched her face.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right. I said that would drive me a little crazy. I'd be in my head, I'd be like, hey, I'm kissing this pretty girl. If I just the vice versa, I'm kissing this pretty girl, but she's touching my face. Like, I know when we got ice cream, she grabbed the handle of that ice cream shop and pushed the door open to get out. Now, how many other people touch that handle? Now it's on my face. That's how my head
Even
works.
in like the heat of a romantic moment, you would be thinking like that?
I hate to say it, I would. Just
Oh.
don't touch my face.
Oh my Dave.
Now, would I
Dave.
push away? I would not push away. But I'm telling you, there's a good, maybe I'm 90% in the kiss, 10% of how many people touch that goddamn handle at the ice cream shop before she
Oh.
touched my face. And then I'm
Oh.
watching her touch the face. And so it's so funny. And my wife immediately, as we said, we're watching this together. She says, if you touched my face, I would have been pretty upset. And I said, I knew it. I was thinking the same damn thing because I
I
made
see
her
you
a
guys are
germ
made
freak
for each
too.
other. You guys
No,
are meant for each other.
I made her that way. I made her that way. No, what's funny? My son, Nicole, he's
Yeah.
worse than both of us. Yeah, he's worse than both of us. Howie Mandel's like, you guys are out of control. No, seriously, we're that's
Oh, well,
that's it.
the more like the more germophobic you are, the lower your immune system is.
Yeah. As I'm coughing,
So,
it's not gonna go. Yeah, it's true.
like, so I am like, of course, at the gas station, I use a paper towel to touch the
Do you?
trigger gun thing. Yeah, I don't use my bare hand. Um, I wash my hands frequently, but I am not a super germaphobe, and I believe this is why we don't get sick. I mean, not to jinx myself, I'm going to knock on wood here. I haven't been sick since 2019, other than
Wow.
cancer,
Yeah. But you
other
never
than
got
a
COVID.
life-threatening disease. But I mean, like a cold virus or a flu virus. I haven't been sick.
You never got COVID at all?
Nope.
Wow.
No.
That's awesome. It's funny, as I made that joke about being clean, I've been coughing for the last 3 minutes. That's funny as hell. So,
Yeah, no.
all right.
I
So
feel like
that
dirt is good for you. Some dirt is I mean, my house is clean. So like if something falls on the floor is pretty clean. You can pick it up and wash it off and still eat it. Um I don't know. I encourage a little bit of germs. I think it's healthy.
so in my car, just so you know, when someone gets into my car, I have, you have the drink holders. One of the
Yeah.
drink holders always has the antibacterial gel ready to go at all
Oh,
times.
listen, I don't use it. I don't
Now,
use
I'll
hand
never tell
sanitizer
yeah, I'll never tell anybody to do, "Hey, are you gonna clean your hands?" I don't do that. It's just one of those things I do. But
for you.
it's funny as hell. Yeah, I'm not saying it's the right way to go. I got some major problems. That's what I'm telling you. So there you go.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you're watching right now? I got to tell you, I watched and I'm way behind, but I watched The Queen's Gambit. I just finished that, which I had no idea. I literally thought it was about uh basically about London. I had no idea it was about chess until I started watching the show. But I just finished that one, and then I watched all the shows that you and I watch. But is there anything you're watching right now?
Yes, 1,000 Pound Sisters just came back on. I don't know
Okay.
if you're familiar with that show.
Oh,
I
I'm
love
familiar.
those girls. Oh my
My wife
gosh.
watches nonstop.
I love that family. I'm just so they just make me laugh. They make me happy. And so that's back and I watched that. I was very excited last night. Um and of course all the 90 day stuff. I just the new before the 90 days is it's just it's a good one. It's a good season. And then I watched New York, Housewives of New York.
Yeah.
Okay, can I just say that Erin, I never really knew how I felt about her, and like I never really knew like how to place her, whether I liked her or not. And then she goes and cuts her hair, and she is a Jennifer Aniston doppelganger, and I can't unsee it. I can't stand it. I don't know. I am like, it is too close for comfort. She
Yeah.
needs it doesn't work for me. If it works for her, great. She says she did it to support her mother, who's no
Oh,
surprise, battling breast cancer and is about to go through chemotherapy. But I don't know what cutting a few inches off of your hair has to do with
it's the weakest
supporting.
effort I've ever seen in my life. It
No,
was the weakest
thank you.
half-ass effort. Talk
Thank
about
you.
not putting even your toe in the water.
I was
I mean,
like,
she just cut
what?
the ends.
She cut
Like, what the
the
hell just
ends
happened here? It was a
and
week.
turned herself into Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah,
I was like, what the fuck just happened here? And it's
yeah,
like, if you're going to shave your head, okay, cool. But I
yeah.
mean, I'm glad you said it. And that's what I was thinking. But at the same time, she has to go through it the way she goes through it. And if she feels like it's support, then power to her, because it's a difficult time. And I don't want to judge anybody on how they show support. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what in the world. It was
It was
it was just bad all around for me. I just
no.
oh,
I'm with
put it
you.
back.
I just watched it an hour before we started recording, and I'm sitting there going, "What the fuck?" And it was like I'll watch the Instagram videos where the mom's going bald, and then all of a sudden the kid takes the shaver and shaves her head, and I tear up every time. But
Yeah.
I'm sitting there going, "You cut your ends off. That's all you did. You cut your ends off. You didn't do shit. You know, Uh, Give me a
So
break." And you're sitting there going, "What?" And she had to tell everybody she cut her hair. Like no one even noticed.
I
And I
know,
was,
but I can't believe nobody else is like, "Oh, Jennifer Aniston is here."
yeah. What
Where
kind of
did
horse shit is this?
Aaron go?
Yeah, it's
I
weak. And
mean,
every
was it
time I
just
look
me?
at Aaron, I'm like, God, if she would figure this shit out, she could easily be the favorite on that show. But she always steps in shit every time. Like she always makes the wrong little move to make people go, I don't trust her, I don't like her.
Yeah, well, now I'm getting now I can't even see her for her because I feel like they recast Aaron with Jennifer, and it's over for me. I
Yeah.
have a hard time with it. I don't like any of it. And then the other thing that made me laugh, and I wanted to ask you about this. Um, okay, so with breast reconstruction,
Yeah.
there's this whole there's so many options, right? And then you get to the option of a nipple, and you can get them tattooed. They do these amazing like 3D tattoos where it looks just like one,
Wow.
or you can have the surgeon create one, like they call it like origami
Okay.
nipple, and they make one with skin, and then you tattoo around that. And the doctor said to me, but with that, keep in mind it will always be hard. You will always have a hard nipple.
Yeah.
And so I was like, "Oh my god. Okay, didn't think about that part." But, Skims, and they brought this up in the New York, this is why I'm talking about it. Skims, they make a bra that has erect nipples in it so that
Yeah.
you have hard nipples the entire time. Okay, do you find that sexy? Is that sexy to people? I know it is to some people. I wanna know your opinion on it.
Yeah, I think, well, it's funny. Believe it or not, I've had this conversation. And when I have the conversation with women, women think it's ridiculous. But for men, I think a lot of men get turned on. I think I'm
Sure.
probably one of those because I think as a guy, and most, as I don't say just as a guy, but as most people, we always want to know what's under the clothes, you know?
Right.
And so we try and picture, it's what it's funny. I always say this: women dress for other women. Men can't tell you what you wore. We can just tell you if you look good. That's
Yeah.
kind of where we're at. But then we want a picture without any clothes on. And then at the same time, if you're wearing something fitting, we can almost get everything. Now, if the nipple's dead center and we go, okay, now in our mind, we can kind of play the game even better. Do you understand? It's kind of like
Yes.
a starting point. It's like it's the bullseye. And now we
Yeah.
can sit there and form the rest in our mind. And that's kind of it. And I mean, guys are dirtbags. Look, I'll tell you right now, most guys like me that will watch Housewives of Orange County or New York, whatever, in our mind, this is the game that guys play. All right, if I had to sleep with one girl on the show, who would it be? That's how we that's how we do it. And it's
Yeah.
so stupid, but that's what we do. And I think we
Yeah.
do it in almost every room we walk into. I don't care if you walk into a business office, you're going, all right, who's the most attractive girl in this room? Guys are
Yeah.
shallow as hell. We just are.
Yeah, I mean, I think some women do it too. I sometimes I'll think like, which one's wardrobe would I want the most? Like, which wardrobe do I admire the most? Or sometimes I'll say like, which figure, like their body figure, like their which one would I pick if I could pick one of their beautiful
Yeah.
figures? Which one is mine? I think everybody kind of plays this game, but to the hard nipples. Okay, I get how guys find that sexy, hence why I wouldn't walk around like that, like in normal day-to-day activity,
Yeah.
because I feel like it's calling out,
Oh, it
it's
is.
like screaming. It's I feel the same way about like camel toe. Like there's certain
Yeah.
things I don't think you should be walking
Yeah.
around.
Yeah.
Everybody do you. I'm not saying that, but for me, I feel like when my nipples are erect and I'm in a t-shirt, all eyes go right to it. So
That's
unless
true.
you're looking for that kind of attention, I
Yeah.
think that no, let's not walk around with hard nipples. Let's not if we don't have to. And let's save that for, occasions.
Yeah.
So the hard nipple thing for me, I think will be a pass. And
I just so you know, I'd probably go the same route. If I was a female, I would do the same thing. I would go
yeah,
for a
I think
pass.
that's a pass.
Yeah.
And then, look, Skims makes a bra that has hard nipples. So if I ever
Yeah.
want that, look, we've got it. But yeah, I always think that and camel toe, I'm like, I feel like you need to go back into your closet and make an adjustment. You need to put a different
Yeah.
bra on, you need different
Yeah.
underwear, different pants.
Yeah.
Like fix this before you just go out day to day. But
Well,
um
look at
that's
the workout pants they have for women now. How many of them
I
go
know,
right up
but
the butt?
you can still, yes, up the butt. I don't know why I don't have a problem. I don't have
Yeah.
a problem. I think it's cute. I think just like the bathing suits up the butt, I think it makes
Yeah.
every butt look better. I think here's my theory on like the bathing suits is
Yeah, I
that
wanna hear this actually. I got
shape
questions.
okay, when you wear like a bikini bottom that's covering some of the bum, it can change the shape and change the look and everything like that. But if you put it straight up the bum, you can actually see the
Yeah.
cheeks. you
Yeah.
let they get to be seen for who they are and what they are. You're not like, I don't know, sometimes people pick the wrong shape bikini bottom and it changes the look of the butt, and it might not be for the better. So I like it when it goes up there, because then you can just see the bum in all its glory. I think it's cute.
Look at that. Okay. So a couple things. One is, one of the things that is so funny to me when I watch movies in the last, from now to the last 30 years, is how bathing suits have changed, even on the beautiful women, you know. And even if you watch Huey Lewis in the news video, you know, from like 1983, you're like, God, the bottoms look so crazy. Like they're up so high, like near the belly button, and then they're
But
cut
that's
up
in
above the
again.
hips.
That's
Yeah.
in again. All of that is
Yeah.
back.
And you see how it changed. Well, now the way bathing suits are, if I was in high school or college, I'd be like, "Oh, this is awesome." Like there's no trick to this. Like I was born 30 years too early is in my head. But you know where it's uncomfortable for a person like me is when my friends have their daughters around, and then you're just looking up all the time because you're like, oh my God, her rear end's hanging out. And it
Oh,
makes me, as a man, it makes me feel uncomfortable if I've known that kid growing up. You know what I'm saying? It feels
yes.
perverted.
I get it. See, as a woman, I don't have to worry about that. I can
Yeah.
actually, like, like I hit my daughter's butt all the time. I'm like, look at that, because she's got a good one. Um, so for a female, it's different.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just, I can say cute. I can say it's cute. Although I probably wouldn't comment on my friends' bums, but
yeah.
it's
Well, as
different.
a girl, you could
I can
probably
imagine.
say almost anything, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
you can. Although I probably wouldn't, but it wouldn't be weird
yeah,
if I looked. Whereas I get it as a man. Yeah, I
yeah,
guess, but it's just a butt, for God's sakes. I mean,
it is.
it's just butt cheeks.
Yeah,
So
just it sounds like
it's just butt cheeks. When
sounds like
when you're
something on
when
a
you're in a
t-shirt.
bathing suit, whether it's up your bum or it's covering your
Yeah,
bum, it's still all out there, right? So,
yeah,
um, I would imagine for a man being around his friend's daughter or being around young girls would be hard, regardless
yeah, yeah,
of
yeah,
what their
yeah.
bathing suit looks like. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just one of those things. I just never know what are going through other guys' heads. Like if I was my daughter and then my friends are there, I'm like, are they looking at my daughter's ass? Like it would bother me. It would make me uncomfortable. I don't know.
Well, if
That
you trusted your friends and you knew they weren't pervs,
yeah, yeah. That's
you
true.
know,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, that's a tough subject. That's a tough one. Um, yeah, it's funny because when I went in for my surgery, my friend John stayed with my daughter, and one of my neighbors had asked me, "Who's staying with Keegan?" And I said, "Oh, my good friend John," and everything. And before I went in, she was like, "Are you sure? Are you sure because she can stay with me?" And I was like, "Oh, I would never leave my daughter overnight with a straight man."
Yeah.
Let's get something straight here,
Yeah,
okay? Speaking of straight, let's be clear. My
yeah,
daughter is not staying overnight alone with a heterosexual man.
yeah.
Like, no, that's not what's happening here. But thank you, and you're right. Like, what a weird,
That
um,
is funny.
yeah. I mean, it's just that's yeah.
That's funny.
You just
Yeah.
yeah. It's a
That's
weird
where
subject.
that's where our brain goes. I mean, nowadays, unfortunately, we watch a lot of things in the news and we hear a lot of stories. That's where our brain goes, always the safety
Yeah.
of kids.
Well, it's
Yeah.
true. I mean,
It
and
is true.
seeing all this P Diddy, Puff Daddy,
Oh my God.
Pimp Daddy. I mean,
Yeah.
whoa, whoa. I always knew the guy was probably like a freak and an asshole and
Yeah.
all of
Yeah.
this, but whoa. I mean, we're talking 9-year-olds. I mean, this is getting so deep and creepy.
Yeah.
And, this list they're talking about that could be coming out of people in the videos. Whoa. I mean, I just talk about being disappointed in humans.
Exactly right. Exactly right. No, you're right. As far as being disappointed in humans. It is when a celebrity gets, in trouble and you see things going the wrong way, there's always, I think, that thing in your head for someone on the outside. It goes, oh man, I want to see where this goes. Right now it's going in a direction like I don't want to see where this goes. Like I'm
Me
gonna, of
neither.
course, I'm gonna pay attention just because I'm curious, but there's nothing exciting or fun about these stories that are coming out at all.
No, this is dreadful, and I'm not paying attention to any of it until the
Yeah,
final, you
exactly. Me
know,
too.
until all the investigations are done, until it's released by authorities. I don't want to get caught up in all the gossip and who might have been. And just because you
Yeah.
took a picture with somebody, it does not mean you guys are best friends. I hate when people do that on social media. Like they show a picture, oh, they were together. It doesn't mean that they have the same life behind closed doors. So all of that, I don't want to get caught up in that. But I am just so fearful of what's going to come out at the end of this. And it's oh yeah, it's just so sad. It's gross.
It is.
And it's like, I know people get very like eccentric when they have a lot of money and stuff like that, but this is 2024. I feel like when you have a lot of money, that you can go get help. I mean, this is when you should be realizing, okay, this is a problem. This is gonna, this could put me in jail for the rest of my life. This is damaging other people. We know all of this. Everything is out in the open now. It's damaging lifetime, causes lifetime damage to people. What you're doing. And, I'm using this amount of baby oil, and spending this amount of money on cocaine and drugs to rape people. This is where you say, I can afford to get help. I mean, that's where I go with
Yeah.
it. I'm like, what in the fuck? You have endless resources. Go get help. Go check yourself in. Like, oh, I don't know. It's just so disappointing and disheartening and all of the above. All of those words.
I agree. Can agree with you more. Couldn't agree with you more. All right, let's get to your mailbag.
Okay.
Again, if you have a question for Nicole, you want to get anything in there. We always ask 5 questions on the show. It doesn't have to be all 5. If you have one, we'll mix and match them in there. You can go ahead and do that. Again, it's perfectlytwistedpod.com. You'll see the mailbag at the top of the screen. The same thing as Nicole said at the beginning of the show. If you're interested in buying her t-shirt, you can go ahead and again you reach out through there as well. Nicole's mailbag's right there at the top of the page, and we'll get your
And we have the
question.
mugs too. We've got mugs
And
with the logo if you're
yeah,
interested in that too. Also, proceeds this month will go to charity. So
fantastic.
yeah, the t-shirts and the mugs.
What's the mug going for?
The mug is 30.
Okay, good deal. Good deal. I love the mug. That looks great. All
Yeah.
right, here we go. So perfectlytwistedpod.com. That's how you do it. We have 5 questions from Christy. Okay.
Okay.
Says Nicole, do you have a favorite restaurant and what's your favorite meal?
Oh, yes. I love Mexican food. It's just sort of my go-to. I've got a few favorites. It depends on the mood. It depends on the weather. So, there is a place called El Compadre on Sunset Boulevard, which happens to be one of my all-time, lifetime favorite Mexican food restaurants. Locally, I go to a place called Don Cuco's, which is just so good too. It's yeah, they're my favorite. It's just like real home style Mexican food, and yeah, that's my fave.
Everybody's hungry right now. Right now, everybody's
I
like, I
know.
could go for
Me too. It
Mexican
makes
food.
me hungry too.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Question 2, Nicole, do you have a favorite movie?
Like one favorite movie.
If let's say
This
let's
is
say I was judged it by this. If you're flipping through the channels and it was on, would you not change the channel? Would you stay and watch it?
um I guess it's tough. I don't really like rewatching things I've already seen. I'm
Yeah.
weird like that. I
A lot
get
of no, I
bored.
think a lot of women are like that. Guys will watch the same thing over and over.
I just know I'm bored. I know what's happening. And then I
Yeah.
start getting up and doing other things. But I do like showing my daughter
Yeah.
shows like that I loved. So like anything John Hughes, I would watch and say, "Hey Keegan, come sit down and watch this with me." Um I did watch a couple John Hughes films after I watched the documentary Brats, about the Brat Pack.
Yeah.
So I did go back and because I hadn't seen them in a very long time since they came out. So yeah, those I'll revisit. Things from when I was in like junior high school. Yeah.
Yeah.
So John Hughes movies would have to be
Awesome.
my favorite that I would watch again. Yeah.
Good deal. Nicole, what would your kids say is their favorite thing about you?
I think different they each would have something different to say. Um, I don't really know about my oldest. I think maybe she would recognize me for the struggle that my life has sort of been, and how I've done it on my own for both of them and tried my hardest. I've not always been the best. I've not been, done everything right, but I always put them first and I always try harder. Um, so I think maybe that. And my youngest, I think she would say like my young spirit and my humor. Like we always make each other laugh. Um, she finds me funny. She thinks I'm really funny, and I think it's a little bit weird with her friends because I'm her best friend and she talks about me a lot. And so I think they're probably like, and they all want to meet my mom. They all want to meet me. Like when she makes a new friend or something and they get on, they're like, hi, Keegan's mom. Like everybody.
That's cool.
So she talks, like, yeah, she enjoys time with me. So I think she thinks I'm fun. I'm fun to be around. Yeah.
That's cool. I like it.
Yeah.
It says, Nicole, as an actor, is there a skill to pick in great roles?
Oh, well, as you can see, I don't think I've done that great of it, so I might not be the right person to ask. I think that for me, when I read a good script, I know it's a good script. And a lot of times you can take a great script and then it's made by people who maybe aren't so talented at directing, producing, cinematography, other actors, and it might fall apart. So a lot of times it has to do with the entirety of the project. A
Yeah.
good script, you know, being done by really talented crew. But things like I remember, excuse me, reading American History X when I auditioned for that, and I was like, "Oh my god, this movie is killer. This is gonna be amazing." Same with Boogie Nights. I mean,
Oh
I
boy.
was obsessed. I was like, "This is such a good script." I could go on and on. I've read a lot of really good scripts, and they've been hits. So I think, it's a matter of, like, taste. And it would be so nice if we could be part of the 1% of actors that get to pick and choose your projects. That's so
Yeah, no
limited.
kidding.
And, most people, you just take a job when it's offered to you or when you can get it. So, for the experience, for the resume, for all of that. So that's like a privilege that only a certain amount of actors have. But I think it is good script reading. I like, knowing when you're reading a
Yeah.
good script. And a lot of times with big actors, they've got a great team behind them that say, this is a project you should focus on. This is one you should probably stay away from. It takes a village. It is not just a one person decision. It's a village. So
It's interesting you brought up Boogie Nights. Boogie Nights is one of my favorite movies, and I love the actors that are in it. I mean, the acting is outstanding. The writing is outstanding. I've heard the stories that Burt Reynolds didn't want to do it, and he kind of was forced to do it, and he was great at it. Philip Seymour Hoffman, who unfortunately passed away way too early, I think is one of the greatest actors I've ever seen.
yeah,
And he has a small role in it, but he kills it. I mean, he's so good. He's so good in it as
it's
Scotty.
fantastic. Yeah.
When you wanted that role in that movie and it doesn't work out, is it one of those where it's kind of devastating, or is it like on to the next thing? How does it work in your head?
Um, I mean, bummed, yeah, disappointed and like, damn it. But the good side to that is you got that close. Like I got that
Yeah.
close to it that they were seriously considering me. I see why they hired Heather Graham. And sometimes that just happens. It goes out to the bigger name or the
Yeah.
better actress like that. It is what it is. And I thoroughly enjoyed her in that. So, and same with American History X, Fairuza Balk. I see why they hired her. And again, I just feel privileged that I got to get that close. It's like, when you're nominated for an award,
Yeah.
you're just privileged to be nominated and you're thankful and grateful. It's sort of like that. Like, well, they looked at me like that. Like they even thought twice that maybe I could be this. That in itself is, pretty amazing. Not as amazing as landing the role, but I try to look at it like that.
Are you friends with Heather Graham? I mean, you
I
close in
don't
some
know
age.
her. I
Oh,
don't know
really?
her, but I'm a big fan. Yeah, I love her.
Okay. Yeah, just curious. Well, she was also in License to Drive, of course, with Corey
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
both Corys. And
I don't
I
know
just
her. Yeah.
figured age-wise, maybe you guys know but honestly, I'm a fan where I thought this is not a shot at her. I thought her career would be bigger than it has been. Like I thought she was on her way to just blown up.
Yeah, I feel like she's a little underrated as well. She
Yeah, me
does,
too.
whenever she's in something, it's usually good.
It is.
She does quality work. She really does, and she's always great. But I agree that she's a little bit underrated as like a leading actress, right? A
Yeah.
leading lady. Yeah,
I
I
even
agree.
loved her in the Austin Powers movie. I thought she was great.
Yeah,
Yeah, I thought she was great in
yeah.
that. All right.
And
I just
you know
care.
what I loved her? I loved her in the Las Vegas where they go to Vegas.
In
The
Hangover.
Bachelor. Yeah, Hangover. She's so good
Yeah,
in that. I love her in
she
that.
is. Yeah, she
Mhm.
was. All right, last question for you. If you could work with one or two actors in history, who would you choose?
Oh my god, my brain, it's killing me because the other day I was just thinking about this and I was like, that's who I would like to work with. There's a number of people, but I would love to be around Nicole Kidman.
Yeah.
I think there's something just so amazing about that woman. Oh, I have to come back on this one because
Yeah.
I had it in my brain. It's so hard for me still. My memory is so
Yeah.
shot. But I think Nicole Kidman is just somebody that like I admire. I love everything she does. She does such dynamic work. Like she's always doing something completely different than what we saw her in prior. And I really admire that. So
You know what my
yeah.
favorite Nicole Kidman role is, and I guarantee I'm probably one of the very few that would say it. When she did the movie To Die For, I
Oh, she
thought
was
she was
great. Yeah.
so great in that movie. But and I know it, and it wasn't the kind of movie. Even though there were major stars in that movie, it's not when you talk about her great work that people bring up. But I was every time that movie's on, that's one movie I will leave on to watch. I think she's outstanding.
She's outstanding. I think it catapulted her. I think that movie when that came out, I think a lot of people's jaws dropped.
Yeah,
So you have to watch The Perfect Couple. Have you seen that
I
with
haven't.
her and Liev Schreiber?
I have not.
It's kind of the same. I would put it on the
Okay.
same level like that. Really good. You should watch it. You and
Mhm.
your wife will love it too. The
Okay.
Perfect Couple. Oh, really good work.
Yeah, there you go. And she's I know she lives in Nashville now with her husband, Keith Urban, but she's
Yeah.
people tell me all the time. They run into her all the time. Like she's not elusive. She's out there. She has no problem going out in public and extremely nice person. Yeah.
Oh, love her even more.
Yeah.
See?
There, there
Yep.
you go. All right, those are all the questions right there. Thank you, Christy. Again, if you have a question, perfectlytwistedpod.com, look for the mailbag and throw your questions in there. We'll get them on the show.
Yes. And we'll see you next week. Have a great week.